Welcome to Live with Cody and Satori, the paranormal couple. The show will be starting shortly. Please like, subscribe, and comment. Now please welcome the paranormal couple, Cody and Satori.
We're really bad at this. Like, I thought we were ready.
I was trying to share.
We were falling behind. We didn't have everything where we needed it to. My posts are not sharing again. So I don't know if they're going to upload and say we're live. So hello, everybody. Oh, it just worked. I think it just worked. Let me make sure this works. It could be a link to like something random. No, it's us. Okay.
Great.
It's there.
How's everybody doing?
Hello.
Welcome to the show.
Hello, hello. Let us know where you're watching
tuning
from.
in. Awesome.
Hi.
Very cool. Very, very cool. So, welcome to the show. My name's Cody.
I'm Satori.
That's Satori.
You probably know us, and you wish you didn't.
If you haven't been here before, good luck, because this show is definitely a wild ride, not your usual interview type paranormal show. Satori and I would like to have a little fun and do some different segments and learn a little bit about each other. So if you know how the segments work tonight, feel free to jump in if you have any questions that go along with them. If you have any questions in general about the paranormal or anything, definitely feel free to ask, and hopefully we can try to give you an answer. So this week's been interesting and fun. This weekend we have our New Jersey event coming up with John Zaffis. And that is sold out, unfortunately. Only unfortunately for the people who weren't able to get a ticket. But
we're happy so many people wanted to hang out with all of us. Us and John Zaffis in the same space for a night is probably absolute chaos. So that's probably why people wanted to come and see that for themselves, see that chaos for themselves.
It's definitely a busy month.
It is.
Because all the conventions have officially started up. We started in Wisconsin last month. And now it's May, so we have New Jersey, and then
we have Ohio State Reformatory Parapsychon.
Yep, that's coming up.
That's like here next week. Yeah, that's May 16th to the 18th of this month.
Weeks,
hello. We will be at Ohio State Reformatory. You can come see vendors, see all of us. You can even investigate. You can get a tour of the whole building. It's huge. If you've seen our most recent YouTube video, we kind of did a little bit of an exploration and tour and showed you guys Ohio State Reformatory. It's magnificent. Just the size is absolutely magnificent. So we have that. There's also like a raffle you can join. I think that ends May 11th. And you can actually raffle for the chance to be stuck in an escape room with us. So if you want to be stuck in an escape room with Cody and I and just absolute chaos and try to get out, that sounds like a great time. Definitely check that out.
And these are like professional escape rooms.
It is. And Cody and I are not professional escapers, so I don't know what's going to happen. It might just be us crying. I don't know. But if you want to see that.
Hey, I don't know. It's going to be interesting no matter what, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if you want to know anything about any of the other events that are going to be appearing at this year, just go to paranormalcouple.com. It's right there under our names, and feel free to check it out and click on the events page, and you'll get to see where we're going to be at. So,
hi, no, that's good. Good. So at least a couple people think that sounds fun. I saw somebody say this is live action. I'm like, yeah, live action stupidity. So can I see your necklace, please? Okay, so these are some of the pieces that are going to be going up on Saturday on Handmade by Hawes. We're actually wearing a couple of them. The one I'm wearing is a sunset labradorite. I'm trying to get it to focus. It's a really big necklace, and there's all this really intricate metal work that's done by hand. My mom is a phenomenal crystal wire wrapper, so it's all done by hand by Mama Hawes. Okay. So that's a sunset lab, and Cody's actually wearing the blue lab version.
That one's cool.
Yeah, I like.
Very
you can
bright.
see the flash all the way from back there.
It's bright.
We have a bunch of new pieces going up on May 3rd at 7 o'clock. Just to show you a couple, we have all different sizes. So I can see when we get the camera back here. So that's the website. As you can see, there's a timer clock to let you know when it's going to go down and it's time to go. So we have some bumblebee jasper coming in, all different sizes, all different designs. So if you like the boldness of bumblebee jasper, we have some garden quartz again. A lot of people like the garden quartz. It kind of looks like a globe inside of a quartz. So if you like that, we have more silver this month as well. So it's amazing. I think a couple people asked for more silver pieces. My mom was like on it, and she made a bunch of new silver pieces. She actually made like this opalite star with silver. She made all different really intricate necklaces with silver. There's going to be earrings, matching earrings to necklaces. So definitely check it out. Handmade by Hawes at 7 o'clock on May 3rd.
May 3rd.
Yep. 7 p.m.
Saturday.
Eastern time.
This Saturday.
Yes.
Awesome. So real quick, we have a starred thing here. Pete, congratulations on your engagement, please. Awesome. Pete on the street. He's cool.
Oh my gosh.
It's a cool show. He interviews all different people and they tell their stories. Really, really cool.
Yeah,
really,
absolutely.
Really cool.
Absolutely.
I did it. You weren't there.
No, I wasn't.
You missed that one.
Wasn't I sick?
Something was wrong with you.
I was either sick or I was busy.
Yeah, I don't know, but
because I remember.
We'll have to go visit Pete again someday. Pete is awesome. So, like we mentioned, this show is different. We like to do different segments and things like that. So this show, what's wrong now?
Nothing. You kind of sounded like Mario when you did that.
Mario.
You were like a we mentioned, and you had like that. It just sounded really funny the way you said that. I thought that was cute. I don't know. You kind of have a rhythm when you talk. And I don't know why, but you have like this, maybe it's because you're a good singer and stuff like that.
No.
But you just have a rhythm when you talk sometimes. And it's like a cute little beat.
Okay.
I like it. I think it's nice.
All right. Well, this show is going to go till 9 o'clock Eastern time, if you haven't been here before. And then starting at 9:15 is our bonus show. Mm-hmm. And that is for our museum members only. And tonight we're going to be doing something fun. We're going to be investigating another item that hasn't been seen before.
Yeah. So definitely stay tuned for that. We're going to have it set up here in this room. We're going to have a camera on it. You guys can see us, see the item, and we'll see what we get.
Yeah, but huge shout out to our museum members. Couldn't do it without you. We have a bunch of them, the street pages here, so we'll get through them here. Thank you guys very much. Appreciate it. Thank you. And speaking of museum, every episode that we do, we always like to kind of show off one of our museum objects and kind of read you a little bit of the case file. So we're going to jump into that right now. All right, so this week's object is interesting. We're going to show a picture on the screen here. You're not going to get possessed or anything like that when we show you the picture. She said it, not me. But if anybody's a medium or sensitive or feels anything at all, even if you're not a medium and a word pops into your head or an emotion, leave it in the comment section. And we kind of use that as an experiment to see if people are connecting with each other or getting the same types of feelings. So I'm going to put the picture up in 1 second. And here it goes. So leave a comment if you feel anything. There she is. So it's called a boudoir doll. And we have a few of them in the museum. And they're very, very large. They're about 2 to 3 feet long.
Yeah, and if anybody knows Jolene, smaller than Jolene, but not by much. So if anybody knows of our ginormous doll, Jolene.
Yep.
Yeah.
So one of the things we also like to do during this segment is we like to get out the case file and we like to read you a few bullet points.
Interesting.
That's interesting. A few bullet points from the case file. Now, if you are a museum member, one of the tiers on our membership program is that we'll send you a case file every month in the mail. An actual case file you get to look through. And all the objects that we feature on this show, these objects have been sent out in the past. So our museum members already know about these items, which is kind of cool.
Interesting.
So we're going to read you a little bit about this doll here. And maybe, again, if you're a medium or sensitive, it may trigger some other feelings or emotions and things like that. So this is case number 040823. And the title of this case file is The Phantom Caller. So they reached out to us on April 8th of 2023 through email, and they said, "Hello. Hope this email finds you well. My wife and I purchased a vintage boudoir doll from an estate sale a couple weeks ago. Ever since, strange things have been happening. We have experienced a series of unexplained phone calls that sometimes originate from our home phone when we aren't even there. At least 4 of our friends have also received calls from our number, but we never called them. 2 of these calls were made when the house was completely empty. We are not sure what to do, but we want to keep this doll in our we don't want to keep this doll in our home anymore. Please let us know if you can help." And then that was it. And then we, of course, set up a phone interview with the people that reach out to us, and we asked them a series of questions so we can get a better idea of what's going on in the case. So we'll read you a few of those bullet points there.
You want me to cover all these right here?
Sure, if you want.
Okay. Description of object in question: vintage 1920s boudoir doll, approximately 24 inches in length, porcelain head with hand-painted features and a cloth body, dressed in an elaborate red satin gown with lace trim and matching hat. Considering the age of the doll, she is in pretty good condition. How was the object obtained? Purchased at an estate sale in Salt Lake, Utah. I can't give you much more information than that. Client and his wife enjoy going to estate sales to find vintage pieces to decorate home with. Client's wife was immediately drawn into the doll's vintage aesthetic and purchased it as decor for their guest room, which, let's be honest, everybody has different tastes. But if I was staying in someone's guest room and this doll was sitting there looking at me, I don't know how I would feel. The seller did not provide much information, only that the doll, as well as the rest of the home's contents, had belonged to an elderly woman who had recently passed away. Why do you think the object is the cause of paranormal activity? Strange occurrences began almost immediately after bringing the doll into their home. Both clients state that they did not feel anything on the drive home, but as soon as they brought the doll into their house, there was a switch, and that's a direct quote. A strange phenomenon that began to occur that perplexed everyone involved. Friends reported receiving phone calls from the couple's landline, even when no one was home to make them. On one occasion, the couple received a call from their own number while they were sitting together in the living room. When answered, there was no voice. After repeatedly saying hello, only faint breathing responded until the line disconnected. I'll skip to this part because I don't want to give everybody all the information of the case file.
Unexplained sounds. On several occasions, the couple would pass by the guest room and hear strange and unsettling sounds. Low murmuring and faint whispers were occasionally heard. The couple again reminded us that the guest room is where the doll was being displayed. One chilling connection to these sounds is that they are similar they are similar description to what the client's friends heard over the phone when they received the strange phone calls. On one occasion, the couple heard what sounded like soft, distant phone ringing, but no phones in the house were actually ringing or making a ringing sound like the one that was being heard. The client describes the ring sounding, quote, like an old phone with a bell. So a phone's ringing that doesn't exist inside of the house, which is interesting. Manipulation of objects. The couple states that the doll has been found in different positions on 2 occasions. They have found no normal reason as to why this could have happened. The husband even tried to recreate the movement, but had no luck replicating it. The couple also reported that on one occasion, upon returning home, the guest room door was found open. This really freaked them out because they always keep it closed. The next day, they found out that a call also was placed to a friend around the same time that the door would have opened. Again, no one would have been home during this time as the couple was out to dinner. So the desired result or outcome for this case, I'll let Satori read that.
I like to read. The clients want the doll removed from the home as soon as possible. One good thing is that the couple reports that after they had found the guest room door open, Oh, hold on. I totally skipped 2 points and put them together. I think I need glasses. The couple reports after they had found the guest room door open, that was a final straw for them. The husband took the doll out of the room, placed it in a box, duct taped the box shut, and then put it in the basement. Since he did this, everything seems to have gone back to normal. There have been no more strange phone calls or odd occurrences. They still want to donate the doll, though, because they state that, quote, it is no use to us anymore, and it freaks us out. Important update. Today, we received a phone call from client stating that he had called the phone company and they had no records of calls around the time and dates that he had asked about. The phone company stated that they would mail him a copy of the records, which should arrive in a few days. This bit of information makes the case much more interesting to us.
All right, one more bullet point. You want to read it?
Client follow-up, phone call. Today, Satori and I, well, that's weird, were able to speak with our client over the phone. They both were very interested to know if we had experienced anything with the doll as of yet. Can you tell who wrote the case files? We informed them that we had not, but this was very normal for new objects that come into the museum. 90% of the time, we never experience anything with the new objects when they arrive. As usual, we ended our call by explaining that if they ever wanted their item returned to them, all they had to do was contact us and we would send it back. What did I miss? They immediately replied, absolutely not. Keep that thing away from us. We will continue to monitor the doll.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, so that's the doll. It's a creepy story for sure. Because you're getting ringing that it's coming from a phone that doesn't exist in the house. There's phone calls being made from the house when the clients aren't even home to their friends. So it's weird. I mean, right away, your mind tries to go to something rational, like is somebody breaking into my house when I'm not there? Is something wrong with the phones? The client did what he could and called the phone company. There's no records of the calls being made, which is even more strange. When the people pick up, they are hearing strange noises and stuff on the other end of the line. So really weird things like that. Definitely creepy. It's just creepy. So
the comments are really interesting. I'm seeing a lot of people referencing frustration, sadness, uneasiness. A lot of people are referencing fire as well, which is kind of a really interesting detail that everyone's picking up on at the same time. I like that people just say the first thing that comes to their head when looking at these items, because it seems like people are piecing together things. Trains, railroad. So I think that's really interesting. It's like there's a story here that's being pieced together from what everyone's picking up on.
Yeah, and that's why we love showing these objects when we're doing these live shows, because we get a bunch of input, and it's cool when someone's input matches up with somebody else's that they've never met and they don't know, because that makes it more interesting. How is that possible? How are two people who I've never met feeling the same things? And sometimes it's more than two people. Sometimes it's multiple people from multiple different states all feeling the same thing. So it's always cool to get individuals' inputs like this, which is why we love bringing objects to events as well, which we're doing this weekend. So
we are,
and in Ohio. We're going to have at least like 10 items or so.
Us and John Zappas are going to have
10
items.
each. So we're going to have like 20 haunted objects there at OSR in a haunted location.
Yeah.
Which is even cooler.
We'll see what happens. If our haunted dolls go missing, I don't know. OSR is just going to have to take care of them for us for a little while.
Mary asks, is she French?
That would be interesting. We do not have any information as to the origins of this item as of yet. We are still doing research. So if you happen to find any information and you can supply sources to any information you guys get, we will definitely look into it.
Cool. Good.
Cool. Yeah.
All right. You ready to move on to the next segment?
This
one's one of my favorites.
Okay.
I love this segment.
Let's go.
Because we always learn a little bit about each other.
Yeah, I guess so. It's at least funny for people.
Oh, I'm glad.
Okay, let's go.
All right.
Oh, geez.
All right. So if you haven't been to this segment before,
I'm sorry. I'm just thinking of the
Satori's
comments.
giggly.
No, because that comment's
What
funny.
the heck just flew behind
I don't
us?
know what that was that flew.
Did anyone else see that? What the heck was that?
Yeah, I think it was a blanket. I think it fell back there.
It looked like a shadow figure flew by on the
Out of
green
the corner
screen.
of
Made it
your
look
eye?
weird.
Oh my God, did the green screen make it look like it was a ghost?
I'm gonna have to rewatch it.
Oh,
I
we're
always
gonna have
thought
to
it was like a shadow figure.
I think it was the blanket that fell behind.
I think it was a blanket.
Okay. All right. Do you want to describe the segment?
Yeah,
while I
so
pull
if you
up
haven't
mine?
been here before, Satori and myself have each made a short list of questions to ask each other. We don't know what the questions are that we're going to ask each other, and usually we find something out about each other that we didn't previously know. Now, if anyone else has any other questions that they'd like to ask us during this segment, feel free to jump in. We have Erin backstage who's monitoring the chat room, and she'll put a little star next to your question so we can see it and it doesn't get lost in the chat. So, Tori, you want to go first?
Yeah, if anybody else wants to answer these questions in the chat as well,
That might be
like from
fun
your
too.
perspective, feel free to answer them. Okay. All right. In your opinion,
Yep.
what is the biggest misconception you think that people have about paranormal investigating?
Biggest misconception?
Yeah, like, or something that you think is maybe absolute BS or something that's wrong.
That
or...
something happens all the time.
Okay.
On most investigations, it's there's not too much activity happening in the environment and things like that.
Okay.
Because I think a lot of individuals just watch the television shows and YouTube shows and things like that, and they think like every second something's happening inside of a location, and I think that's a big misconception.
Okay. You want to hear one that's mine? One, people that think they know everything. I think if you're in the field and you claim to know everything, you don't. And that should be proof right there that you don't. Two, I think another misconception is that people think that they can, they think they have all the answers in a sense of, Aaron Sagers actually made a really interesting post, and I'm going to reference this post because I thought it was a really good thought, that some people believe that they can control what a spirit does and where a spirit goes and force them to do things in a sense. And I don't think you can. I think that you can put your foot down and put up boundaries and ground rules, but I think there's this is just an opinion of mine. I think there are some people that believe that they can force spirits to go and do certain things that can't. And that's just also a misconception, in my opinion. Again, I'm going to say my opinion because I'm very loud about my opinions, whether you agree with them or not, okay? But that's just how I feel. Like, I'm skeptical. I guess the word I'm looking for is I'm skeptical. And I would guess that that's a misconception with my skepticism. Okay.
That's a good one that Tindra had there.
We assume that they want to talk or do something. Exactly.
Stuff for us, yeah.
We've had people that are like, you need to make this spirit go over there and do this, this, and that, and practically stand on their head and do a cartwheel and hit the ceiling and all this. And I'm like, what if they don't want to? Like, does that make us like, do you think that we're making something happen if they don't? Because we can't force someone. That's like me walking into your house right now, just like walking in your door, and I'm like, hey, you stand on your head and kick your table. Are you going to do that? Or are you going to be like, why are you in my house telling me what to do?
Yeah.
Personally.
Yeah.
And I see George ask, what about exorcists? I think, like I said, I think that you can put up walls and make ground rules. And I think you can keep, in a sense, you can keep things from you and stuff like that. You can close things off and push things away. I don't think you can force them to really go somewhere in a sense of like transitioning them or like moving them on necessarily. I think they have to want to do it too.
I think
like, I think if they don't want to,
and then crossing spirits over, like you mentioned, is something that would be a little tough. But I think, and I don't know if I disagree with you a little bit on this.
It's okay if you do. I think it's a very strict, like a very intricate thing. Like, I believe in some things and not all things.
I think, and we've come into some situations where this is kind of played out, where you can move a spirit along to a different location, or if there's a problematic energy, I'll put it that way. It doesn't have to be a demon or anything like that. If there's a problematic energy, let's say that energy is not that nice or negative, I think you can push that out of a location.
I think you can push it out, but do you think you can force it to go somewhere?
I think you can push it out of a living space. I don't think you can say if you want it to go from point A to point B. I think that's a different story.
That's where I'm getting at. Like, I think you can put ground walls up, push the ground rules down, push things out, but I don't know if you can force them to go into something or stay like that, or like transition onto something. And also, who's to say that they're not already transitioned on to where they're supposed to be and just come to visit?
Right.
Because we've talked to spirits that come and go.
Right.
So like, that's where, let us know your opinions in the chat, okay? Because this is a very interesting topic. All right. So if a lonely spirit is willing to cooperate, then will it throw off the opinion? I don't know. I think if they're willing to go somewhere and you're intentionally trying to help them go somewhere, maybe. I don't know. It's a tough thing for me to grasp, and that's just me.
I think you can, and it's not always successful. I think you can definitely, ask a spirit to leave through, religious provocation has always been a thing for, depending on what type of case you're working on, seems to have worked if it's a more negative type energy. As to where these spirits are going, they could just be going right outside your house. I don't really know.
Yeah.
So I think it's very possible to move spirits away from a living space.
And I see a lot of different really good opinions on this. And that's what I think is important. I think we should all talk about our opinions and be open to hearing what everybody thinks, and then try to come to like a conclusion on that.
Yeah.
And I that's what I like. I like talking about things without everybody fighting, because the field is so dramatic. Like, let's just have a conversation. Do you have a question? Mm-hmm.
What do you think is the most misunderstood type of paranormal activity? Like, you have residual, intelligent, poltergeist, demonic.
Wait, what was the question? Okay, so what is the
most misunderstood?
I think everybody. Well, maybe poltergeist then. Maybe poltergeist. Poltergeist and inhuman.
Inhuman is for me.
Because everybody hears inhuman and they think demon or evil. And inhuman is not just dark. It can be something that has just never walked the earth in human form. So it could be elemental, an angel. It could be whatever you believe in. Fae. It could be something that has never been a living human. I think that is a misconception. Also, poltergeist, because people also jump to that's just like an evil entity too. And I think there's some misconceptions because of the way it's been presented.
Yeah, a lot of people think that a poltergeist is just like stacking chairs and all of that, when in reality it's a lot more than that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
So everybody's talking. The first question got everybody into like a
it's a little controversial. It's controversial.
It is a controversial thing. So that's why I think we should talk about it.
Story's stirring the pot over
I
here.
like to stir the pot. I don't like to just stir. I like to mix the pot. I'll just tip over the pot and we'll spill everything and we'll just go all out. Okay. Is my question? Do I have a question?
You can ask
next?
a question, then we have a couple questions over here too when you're done. So.
Okay. What is the funniest thing that's ever happened on an investigation that you remember?
Funniest thing?
Like, is there something you look back on and you just laugh about sometimes? It could be an investigation we've done. It could be before we even met. It could just be something really funny. You haven't talked about much.
Well, dressing up in costumes was kind of funny at the Alley Theater. That was fun.
Funny.
I think a lot of the jump scares and stuff are funny. Once it's done, not while it's happening.
yeah. I'm trying to think if there was any there was that one time I screamed at you to turn the light on at Smith's Castle because I heard a voice in my ear, and it was like one of the first cases I had ever done.
Oh yeah, I do remember.
And I heard a voice. I was like, Cody, did you whisper? You're like, no. I'm like, turn on the light. You're like, what? I'm like, turn on the light. And I started, because you get that like I don't know what's the term when you get like when you get scared and you get like
adrenaline?
Adrenaline rush. I think that's really funny. I don't know. I think we'd have to really think on that then. At least I would.
Yeah, there's been a lot of little funny things that have happened.
Can we watch the water bottle game?
I ran into a door. That was funny.
Don't you?
I love that audio.
Yeah, you have that audio.
Yeah. That was funny.
It is funny. It is funny. There's so many times we just walk into things on an investigation.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. All right, let's answer one from chat over here. Let's see what
practical
was
jokes.
All right, here's one from George. Are you gonna ever let me have you both for one full unfettered day? Maybe
if we're in
if
Florida.
we're in Florida. We've
Yeah.
done. I mean, Sam and Colby had a full day with us where they could do.
Tyler
anything.
remember
a
we
full
got a
day.
call from Tyler. If you watch Tyler Reynolds TV, he literally just called us up and was like, I want to control one of your sessions. I'm not going to tell you anything. Just meet me here. And that's what we did. And it was the most interesting time.
It was fun.
It was fun.
Yeah, did some interesting things. Sometimes people have some cool ideas. Here's one from John. Do you have a favorite location that you investigated or a place where you will never go?
Sterling Hill Mine was probably one of my favorite locations I've investigated. That's in New Jersey, Sterling Hill Mining Museum. Definitely go, even if it's just for a tour, because stuff happens all times a day.
Yeah, you hear some weird stuff. That's probably one of my favorites as well. As far as a place that will never go,
there's one we're not allowed to go to right now. In Rhode Island. But other than that, I don't think there's one that I wouldn't go to.
Yeah, I can't think of a place. I can't think of a place that I wouldn't go to, not because I'm scared or anything like that. I would check any place out. We checked a bunch of places out.
Yeah, I would be open to go anywhere, I think.
Here's one from Jennifer. How do you feel about investigating with people that are sensitive, like mediums, empaths, psychics?
I'm open to it. I'm completely down. Am I skeptical about certain things? Yes, but I would love to experience it. I'm open to experiencing different things. And I think it would be kind of hypocritical if we said that we didn't want to investigate with sensitives or mediums with what we do.
In the end of the day, this is the way you have to look at it. It's all data, right? No matter what you're pouring into the pot, it's all data. If it makes sense and works, then it works for your case, works for your investigation. If it doesn't make sense, it doesn't make sense. But I think anything's worth a shot when you're trying to figure something out. So I say try it all, and whatever works, works. If it doesn't work, doesn't work. So absolutely. That's why we show these objects, because we like to hear the different input from individuals to see what they're feeling and see if it matches up with what other people have said. All right, here's one from TJB. Have you ever contacted a spirit using a Ouija board? And if so, what was your experience?
I don't mess with Ouija boards, even though we kind of joke and say we're like a human Ouija board, just because I don't want to, I guess, invite something to use me to communicate in that form if I haven't spoken to them. You know what I'm saying?
I've used Ouija board a few different times, and it did move. I was with groups of people. Both times that I used it, I was with people that I didn't really know too well. So I think, I don't know. It did move. Am I 100% sure it was a spirit moving? None of the letters made sense. It didn't spell anything out. I think you should only, with everything as far as paranormal investigating goes, I think you should only do something if you are really strong in your faith and what you believe in, and you feel very protected, and to ground yourself and do all of that stuff. At the end of the day, a Ouija board is just a piece of cardboard with letters on it. It's what you do with the Ouija board that can kind of open doors sometimes, I think. So did we contact a spirit? I'm not really sure. I don't think so, to be honest. But it's not to say that that you can't, because it's another tool, just like a pendulum or dowsing rods. It's a piece of equipment that uses you as almost like a beacon or an antenna.
We have Ouija boards in the museum that people believe have attachments. So
bunch of them. All right, I'm going to ask you a question now.
Okay.
Describe the most terrifying place you could think to investigate. Oh, that's kind of like the other question. Let me ask another one. What's one tool you wish more investigators would use or understand better?
One tool? Themselves. I feel like we've become a generation so focused on equipment and what the gadgets will tell you that you're missing things going on around you and what you're feeling. And I think veering off into the technological age has pushed away the senses and what you pick up as your body as a tool. And I think in a sense there's kind of a battle between the tech and the senses, because it's like one side's telling you this is the new age and it's silly to think that everyone can pick up on things and stuff, and then the other side is like, this is how we've been doing it forever. There's things you can't explain that happen with the senses. So there's battles going on, and I think we need to find a really important balance between technology and data and what we pick up on naturally.
Yeah,
that's just me.
No, I agree. We
me.
don't pay attention to ourselves.
Again, maybe another hot take. I don't know. Don't come for me in the chat.
Here's another question on the topic of Ouija boards. Museum member Alan, can people use a Ouija board if they're blindfolded?
That's a cool
Kinda like
idea.
The Estes thing.
Yeah. You know what we should do in a video? Test that out.
We can.
But I'm afraid to touch a Ouija board, so you should do it.
We've done our method like that before. Blindfolded and
yeah, we recently we did the blindfolded with the headphones on. We've done with our method, but we recently tried holding hands while I was doing Estes, and that was really interesting. We'll have to do it on a video investigation to show people what our response. You know what would be cool? If you tried a Ouija board in one room and I did an Estes in another.
That'd be cool.
And you were blindfolded.
Well, I would do that.
I would try that, I think.
Do that.
Yeah.
TJB, what are your thoughts about UFOs, UAPs?
I believe in them.
I believe in them. Absolutely.
I think the universe is way too big to
There's way too much evidence out there now to not believe them. And I think individuals who completely pass off the thought of only us living in the universe, in space, is very ignorant, I think, because there's just so much we don't know. Same about the ocean. I think the ocean has a lot to do with some of the stuff that the military pilots have been seeing and things like that. So I definitely believe that there's something else out there, and they're hard to capture. Hard to capture on video, hard to capture in photos and things like that. But there's a lot of testimony from very high-profile individuals who are very high up in the military and things like that. So absolutely. Here's one from Sue. Have either one of you done pendulum reading or used dowsing rods?
I have pendulums. I have worked with pendulums, and I have tried dowsing rods. Personally, I have gotten some weird responses with both, so I think there's something to it for sure. But I can't say for certain. My opinion's kind of neutral on them at the moment. I think they're a tool you should use and collect data with, like everything else, though.
I think dowsing rods definitely work. I mean, they've been using them to find water and things like that. Dowsers are still employed by some different town agencies and things like that to find water lines and underground water streams. Ken's raising his hand in the background. He knows because he used to work for the state. And Ken, we've marked. We actually did a whole survey of the Conjuring property one time.
We did.
And Ken's walking around with the dowsing rods, and wherever they would cross, we'd make a line on a map and connect it, for underground waterways and things like that. So if it can pick up on water, right, underground, why can't it move if there's an energy around them? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Same with the pendulum, Mm-hmm. Of course, your body, yourself does little movements and things like that we can't control, right? So I think you have to be careful with stuff like that. But I think your body, your senses, like Satori was talking about, play a huge role in equipment like that. It's almost like you're an antenna. And It's kind of helping you out a little bit.
People are like, oh, they're giving hot takes on their opinions. Everybody's starting to write stuff in the chat. We'll try, guys. I don't want to get myself in trouble.
Oh, here's a good one that's going to get us in trouble. What are your thoughts on the Amityville house? I'm not too sure on that one.
Okay, so here's my take, and it may not be the same as other people that know me. If you were not there, and this is just how I approach everything. If you were not there, you cannot have a definitive answer. And that's just how I feel about everything. Like, and anybody that says something like it's a fact, whether it's online and documentaries or just reporting on things, I always stop and go, but were you there? Like, do you know for certain, or is that just what you believe? So that's just how I look at everything. So I can't speak to it because there are some things I definitely believe happened in that house. But I was not there, so I can't really say either way.
Yeah, I have mixed opinions about it. I remember a quick story time. We were in New York for a paranormal conference. I know Ken was up there around that time, I believe, at the Lake George thing that was going on. This is many years ago. And I was sitting down for dinner with a couple friends. And this gentleman walks in, and he's alone, and he asks us if he can sit with us because the restaurant's full and we have open chairs. And I was with Tiffany Rice sitting at a table, and we said, "Yeah, sure, sit down." So he starts talking and telling, he goes, "Oh, I grew up in a haunted house." And I said, "Oh, really?" He goes, "Yeah, I was in Amityville." So it was one of the kids, Chris, who grew up in the house, one of the Lutz family. Now he wants, he changed his last name. Of course, he was a kid. They moved to California. He's getting bullied in school and all this stuff. Whole long story, which is very sad. But after talking with him, he says that there was definitely stuff that happened in that house, paranormal wise. His stepfather was dabbling in some stuff that he probably shouldn't have been dabbling in. He had some books on some interesting things and stuff like that. He says a lot of individuals base the activity off of what's written in the books and what's in the movies. And a lot of what's in the book and a lot of what's in the movies didn't happen. Just like the Conjuring universe.
Yeah, the Conjuring story got so
Conjuring
twisted.
stories, all three. It seems like every movie they do, it veers more and more off topic from the real cases. And that's what people think. They watch the movie and think that's what really happened. And then when you research the case, you find out that didn't happen. And you're like, okay, somebody's lying here. You're lying. And in reality, that's Hollywood.
I see it like telephone, like a game of telephone.
Yeah.
That just keeps getting twisted and twisted over time.
I believe something happened in Amityville.
I do too, but I was not there, so I can't speak as much as somebody who was there.
Yeah.
But,
and my opinion completely changed after talking to Chris.
Yeah.
Because he says something. He was a kid. And of course, children, they perceive things differently. But he says that he experienced some crazy stuff in that house. So I believe something happened, but it was blown way out of proportion. All right. I think we have time for one more question here. You want to ask one?
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Here's
Mine are boring compared to everybody else.
Barbara, museum member Barbara. Have you guys tried using your method on an object instead of a place?
Yes. Yes, we have. We don't promote what we do in the museum. We like to keep it very separated because what we do method-wise is still just a method that we're researching. And the object museum is completely separated, another passion of ours in the field. But we don't talk about it much, but we do use our method in our museum sometimes. Not the dark room, but we have talked to some of the spirits around items. Sometimes they're nice. Sometimes they want nothing to do with us and they're just happy that they're being protected, and that's it. So it really depends on the person and their personality. Whenever I say Liza absolutely hates my guts, trust me, I know. We have gathered that information in multiple different ways. Liza hates my guts. So we have used our method quite a bit.
Cool. Good question. So if we haven't answered your question yet, I still see a bunch that are starred. We're going to answer them in between our segments that we're doing.
Time is passing so fast.
We have to move on to the next segment,
okay,
which is fun. So this is all Satori. So I'm going to play the intro right now.
I kind of like doing hot takes on videos. Just like we should do a segment called Unpopular Opinion.
I love when people ask questions that are controversial.
I think we should do a segment called Unpopular Opinion, where we give our opinions, and if it stirs the pot and gets us into trouble, who cares? Because it's not like we haven't been in trouble before. So like, I feel like again? So we're just very honest. Like I just don't care. Like I'll tell you what I think. And I think that's my dad's side of things. I learned that from my parents. You know, you can hate me for my honesty. That's fine. So I think giving our opinions is fun.
I'm totally fine with giving opinions.
Okay,
I think everybody
so
should give their honest opinion.
I think so, but I think it can be constructive. I think it's constructive, personally.
Hey, I might give my opinion, someone else might give theirs, and I might find that their opinion is probably the right one, and I'm wrong. And it might be likewise that my opinion was right and they were wrong.
Yeah, except for when it's with me. You know I'm never wrong.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Oh, gosh. Okay. All right. So what this segment is if you want a general reading, just put me in the chat. A couple people will be randomly chosen. So we're not in charge of this at all. So if you do not get picked to this show, do not be sad, because we do it on Patreon bonus shows, and we also do it every show. So there will definitely be more chances. Okay.
Robin.
Right, Robin, let's see what we get. So again, I am not a professional reader. I do this as a hobby. Okay. So I'll just tell you what the cards mean. All right, let's see.
And I'll just sit here.
So the first card I got, Robin, was lighten your load. So that usually means that you put on a lot of everybody's burdens. You take things off of people's shoulders. You help people, which is great. But you're also putting on not only the weight of the things you need to focus on, as well as the things other people need to focus on, which can be really draining. It can really hold you down from what you're supposed to be doing. So this card is kind of an advice card saying from now on, definitely let go of things that do not serve you positively, things that are kind of everybody else's problem, and really focus on yourself. The next card I got was peace. So usually that's a positive card that's saying that, one, you are in need of more peace. You need to take some time to relax, to reflect, to focus on yourself, give yourself a little love, and you will find, peace and positivity. And okay, geez, what was that about? So I also got the willpower card and the good luck card. So usually that means that, willpower, you'll have more strength, you'll have more willpower to keep pushing forward. I'm talking so fast, I'm talking over myself, so I'm sorry if my words come out jumbled, but you will push forward positively, and that's usually good luck card, means something good's going to happen in Robin's future. Usually that means you're going to push forward stronger. If you lighten the load, you'll have more power to keep pushing forward, keep focusing on you, and something good is going to come from that.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
All right. Should we
do another one?
We can do another one.
All right, Aaron. Lisa.
All right. So, okay. Let's see here. The comments are moving kind of fast, so I keep looking at them and then I keep losing my place. Well, we're gonna have to try that again, because like 10 different cards flew out, which could mean that Lisa has 10 different pieces of advice she needs, but I'm gonna ask for more clarity. Let's see here. Oh, geez. Okay. So the first card I got was life purpose. So usually that means that you're going to you are currently starting to come upon, or you will come upon something really important that you can do that is ultimately your life purpose. That could be somebody coming into your path that you need to help. This could be some new spurt of creativity or imagination, or something like pay attention to synchronicities and symbols, or feelings you're getting. If you feel more drawn to something or feel that you should do something in the next coming months, your recent future, definitely go down that path, take action on it, because it's your life purpose, something that you're supposed to accomplish while you are here. I also got strength. So usually strength means that you are a strong person. You need to continue being strong for what's to come in the future. That may sound scary, but it's saying that you ultimately need to prepare yourself for some of the obstacles you're going to hit that's going to ultimately push you in the right path. And from this change, these obstacles and this path you're taking for your purpose, you're going to come across some great truths. So some things are going to be coming out that may have been previously unseen. It could be things that you wish you had more answers on in the past. It could be things that, you felt like were left up on the wrong foot. Things are going to start coming to light. You're going to gain more clarity about situations, gain more truth about yourself, what you should do, who you are, what you're meant to do. So pay attention to that in the coming future, because something's going to come from that. She's going to be kind of pushed on a path that's important for her purpose here, is what I'm gathering.
Well, that's good. I think people are pushed onto paths for a certain reason, even when something bad happens. I think that you're led on a certain path, doors open, and
Yeah,
just happens for a reason.
absolutely.
Now you can probably do one more.
Okay.
So Aaron,
I
if you
can
want to
do
pick
one
one more. Getting 3 tonight. That's pretty good.
We're going to try. Carol. All right.
Carol.
Manifestation. So usually manifestation means that if I like to say manifestation is act like you already have something you really want, and ultimately you're going to make that come into fruition. Something's going to come to you. So manifestation is like wish making. You have to act like you already have something. So put out into the universe what you really want. It could be some accomplishment. It could be something you really hope for, something you want to gain. It may not be exactly how you want to get it, but this card is saying try manifesting, try asking for what you want, and it will come to you. Let me ask for one more. Let's see here. Woo!
Oh, flying out.
They are flying out. It's another good luck card. So something positive is going to be coming to Carol Rogers' future. So
Good for Carol.
pay attention. It could be some great success. Again, something you want coming to you ultimately through manifestation. So pay attention to that. Pay attention to symbols and where your gut's telling you to go.
Awesome. So if you didn't get a reading tonight, again, Satori usually does a couple on the bonus shows some nights. So definitely check that out. Information on how to join the museum membership program is down below in the description. Just click on the Patreon link there and it'll take you to where you need to go. But for now, we can answer a couple questions here before we move on to our final segment of the night. Here's one from Jennifer.
How do you feel about things like leprechauns or spirits, etc.? I definitely believe that there is a version of inhuman spirits that are here that are more based on nature, the environment, the earth, things like that. Leprechauns, would they classify as a cryptid, or would they classify as some sort of spirit or being? Because I know there's certain lore, folklore that claim that leprechauns are like spiritual beings, but then there's others that claim that they're like these creatures.
Yes, I think it depends. There's
I
many
guess it
different
depends on what you
viewpoints.
believe in.
Same with fairies. Fairies, some people say are
Okay,
creatures,
yeah.
and some believe that they're more. I believe that. I mean, Native American beliefs highly rely on nature spirits and land spirits and elemental spirits and things like that. So I definitely believe that
I believe that.
that there is something to that. We've learned that you can create energy by your intentions, right? Like a tulpa, it's called. You know, you can if you put enough energy into something, into believing something, then you can make that happen. So I think collectively, even if, let's say, these things didn't exist, I think collectively, if you believe that they do, it'll manifest something that'll kind of reflect that manifestation, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I wanted to know how much I enjoy watching you both. They're all the things around you. I was like, oh, that's awesome.
Looks like you're trying to avoid a bee.
I know I'm not trying to avoid a bee. It's just the camera. I have to read around. We thank you. We enjoy that you enjoy watching us because we think we're just being stupid. But if we make you happy and make you feel seen and heard, and you want to have constructive conversations with all of us, we are completely open to it.
Awesome.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Here is one.
Do you think if you investigate, you should do smaller groups of less than, let's say, 6 people so it's less likely to contaminate? Yes. Well, I believe that the smaller the group, obviously, the less chance for contamination, the more control for your group. And I think the more activity happens when it's not just a bunch of people in one space.
Yeah. I mean, when we go out with RISEUP, like Ken's group and other teams like that, the TAPS team and stuff, it's usually around 6 people, sometimes less, you know, and we find that works best, usually in teams of 2, or if everyone stays together as one big group. That way it's very controlled. If you stay as one group of 6 people in the same floor, then obviously the other floors of the building are empty, and you have more control that way.
If I was a spirit, I also wouldn't want to like be in a room with a bunch of random people I don't know. Like I'd be kind of uncomfortable.
I think it depends on the location, because you know the locations that do a lot of the big events and things like that. We found that some of those spirits actually love getting visitors.
But it's also bigger spaces.
It's bigger spaces most of the time. So I think it depends on the location. Like the event we're doing this weekend, That's a place where big groups of people have been in multiple times, and it seems like the spirits love that. You know what I mean? They love kind of interacting. They look forward to interacting.
And
with,
you don't contaminate with
groups.
each big group. That's so big that there's different areas. You can't really contaminate that way.
The other cool thing about public events is that I think living energy plays a big role in the amount of activity that you get. So when you have different groups of people coming into a location, it can kind of change the activity a little bit. All right, we have one more segment that we need to jump to, and then if we have any time at the end, we'll answer any other questions that you guys might have.
Let's go.
All right, ready?
All right, so if you don't know this segment, we have these fun little paddles here, and they say me and then our pronouns. And what we're going to do is take some of your questions that you've sent in to us, as well as some fun ones we found along the way, and ask them, and we'll see who's most or least likely to. And if you have any questions in the chat or you want to answer them yourself, feel free to do that, okay? So the first one is, who's most likely to provoke a spirit? Intentionally, 1, 2, 3. I think it's like we wouldn't. I feel like we wouldn't intentionally provoke a spirit.
I would if
I don't think you like because
not
I
like
think
a nice spirit.
No, I don't think you would provoke.
If there's an a-hole spirit that's there and bothering us, then I'm going to say something back.
I think that's different. I think that's arguing with the spirit. I think in this case, some people like to go in spaces and they're like, fight me, like just stuff like that, where they're trying to act all big and bad and then something happens. Okay, so I think that's different. You wouldn't walk in and just be like, oh, you're stupid, fight me. You would wait for something to happen and then be like, hey, what are you doing? And then you might argue with them. That's different.
We always go
egg them on. Don't egg them on.
Yeah, no, don't do that. We always go in very respectful and treat them like we're meeting somebody new for the first time. But in the rare case, if they start treating us not so nice, I'm using the
I just shut them down.
And I would be not so nice back.
Okay, but I would just shut them down. I'd just be like, okay, we're done.
Okay,
that's
then
different.
That's
like time out.
Leave. Okay.
That's
All right.
Who's most likely to sleep through an investigation? 1, 2, 3. That is not true. That is not true. Take that back. Take the thing down. Take the thing down. You know that's not true.
Why would I sleep?
Cody, you fall asleep so easily. You do. Who's most likely to investigate a location by themselves? 1, 2, 3. That's true. Who is most likely to attract paranormal activity? 1, 2, 3. I think you attract them more.
Why?
Because you've always been able to do some weird stuff.
Yeah.
So I think that they like you more, and I think it's because of the things you've been through, but I'm more talkative.
You are. So it should be you.
See, some things just don't work out in my favor, okay? Some things just don't. Who is least likely to believe in orbs? That's a good one. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Yep. Skeptical Sally over here. That you will write off something, I think, a bit faster than in somebody else.
I won't write anything off completely that I haven't been there to experience.
Who is most likely to use a Ouija board? 1, 2, 3. Again, like we said, I don't really mess with Ouija boards. Who's most likely to keep recording evidence even while everyone else is freaking out? 1.
What was it?
Who is most likely to keep recording evidence even while everybody else is freaking out? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that is true. I feel like this is all Cody's tonight. All Cody night. Who is least likely to investigate a location rumored to be demonic?
One more time.
Who is least likely to investigate a location that's rumored to be demonic?
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
I've done it.
But so that means you'd be most likely to, right?
Oh, it's least likely?
Yeah.
Oh, you.
Okay. I was gonna say kind of both of us, but
Read the question again.
who's least likely to investigate a location that's rumored to be demonic?
You.
Maybe.
I would be there in a heartbeat.
Who's least likely to touch a cursed object? 1, 2,
Least
3.
likely?
Because I have touched cursed objects, though. I have. I don't know. I have.
I guess
have
we'll have to
touched them.
find out someday.
Next YouTube video, we're going to be picking up cursed objects in the museum.
All right, it's 9 o'clock. We're going to answer the last 2 questions that are starred here. Here's one from Stephanie. Will you be selling anything at Parapsychon?
Yes. So we will be bringing books. So we will have books and we'll be signing books for everybody that wants one. We will have some other fun things on the table. Handmade by Hawes will be bringing items as well. So Handmade by Hawes has a drop on this Saturday, May 3rd at 7:00 p.m. Eastern time. And it's a big drop. It's lots of silver, lots of copper, lots of earrings, and all sorts of fun things like that. We're actually wearing some pieces that will be up, some really pretty pieces. And then we will be bringing pieces that you can see in person at Parapsychon. And you can pick them up and take a close look and see if you feel right about certain jewelry. So we will have lots of fun things.
Cool. Yeah, we're looking forward to that event.
I think I'm making mystery bags too. And what those are is I do a mystery bag and it has a mystery necklace in it, which are like, smaller crystal necklaces and 3 other mystery items. So it's a good deal. It's a really good deal. I make sure they're worth more than what you would buy at any other place. So that all goes towards funding the museum. So definitely check it out.
Cool. Cool. And the last question here. I've only seen a couple of your sessions, and I'm very intrigued. Do you know of any other couples or people online who have tried and posted an attempt of your method?
There have been people that have tried our method, and there have been people that have reached out, but they don't want to seem crazy, so they reach out privately, and they have told us that they've tried our method and it's worked, and they've gotten some pretty weird activity. So I think you should try it. Don't knock it till you try it. And as far as we don't know if anybody else can do exactly what we do, but we would love to know if there are, because it makes us seem less crazy.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
cool. All right, so we are going to be ending this show. We're going to start our bonus show in just a few minutes, about less than 15 minutes now.
And we're investigating an item.
So if you want more, check that out. Patreon.com/hauntedmuseum. All the information's there. You can watch it for as little as $3, and you can catch up on all of the old episodes as well. There's a whole couple of years worth of bonus material on there, so definitely check that out.
Yep.
Anything else?
I think we're good.
All right. We'll see some of you this weekend in New Jersey, and see some of you in a couple of weeks in Ohio.
Parapsychon.
Parapsychon.
Check out paranormalcouple.com for information.
All right. Bye.